Here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the UPerfect 15.6-inch 4K OLED portable touchscreen monitor. Now this retails for roughly $800 US. I'll include a link in the description, and in full disclosure, this was furnished to me by the manufacturer for review purposes. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about what makes this unique. Of course, first and foremost, it is an OLED, and that is a big deal because, quite frankly, there just aren't that many portable monitors out there that utilize not only an OLED panel, but one that is UHD. And in addition to being 4K, it has a built-in 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which means it really is far more versatile than your average panel. Also, don't forget, we have touchscreen, so if that's something you're after, it is here. So what can you use this for? Obviously, it is a portable monitor, so whether you're connecting this to a computer, that is desktop or laptop, or maybe a smartphone, a tablet, any of those are applicable, but again, the fact that it has that portable, the battery built in means that you do not have to be plugged in all the time. This could be used because of the fidelity that an OLED panel like this brings to the table as a preview monitor for video work, when it comes to editing, color correction, proofing. I mean, this thing, at least on paper, per the manufacturer, is supposed to be able to represent 100% of the Adobe RGB spectrum, as well as DCI-P3. So that means, any form of color grading is going to be ideal with a panel like this. And when it comes to reputation, UPerfect is one of the better manufacturers on the market. I've covered a lot of their products, and for the most part, I've yet to find one that really under-delivers. I mean, no corners are generally cut. Build quality is usually very good. So let's see what we have here. Now, it is aluminum. For those of you, the actual body of this, it almost feels like a tablet. Nothing built on in terms of a stand, for those of you that are wondering. Let me go ahead and show you the balance of what's in the box, and then I'll get to more on the tablet, because they do include everything you will potentially need. Of course, the user manual right there. And then we're going to have, I believe it's a 45-watt power brick here. So let's see if that's this, and it may not be. This may be other cables. Let's see if I can get it out. Looks like I got to go to the other side to gain access. And they're going to also include, of course, the Type-C and HDMI cables that you will need to connect this to your device of choice. But again, what makes it so unique, besides being an OLED, which to me is really the reason you would want to pick up something like this, because of its, again, fidelity, also response time. It is unlike any other panel. I mean, comparing it to IPS is a disservice to the OLED because there really is no comparison. So this is the 45-watt power brick, goes directly into the wall, Type-C to the panel, which we'll be going over ports in a moment. And let's just take a look at the included cables. I'm also going to see what's in this other box. I assume it is the cover, the case for the actual panel. So there is our Type-A to Type-C cable to connect to your device, the actual power brick. And then this is where the rest of the cables are for connecting it to your device of choice. So we have a Type-C to Type-C right there. We have another Type-C to Type-C. And then last but not least, we have a full-size HDMI to mini HDMI. So basically, whatever you're going to connect to, it will have to be using Type-C or, of course, HDMI. And that pretty much is every device out there these days. So let me go ahead and get the box out of the way. And that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, I don't know exactly what the runtime is, but regardless, it's still going to make this, again, more dynamic than pretty much anything else out there. And when it comes to OLED panels in a portable form like this, there really aren't many options on the market these days. I think there might be one other, possibly two, and not necessarily from manufacturers that I would recommend. I think one of them I've covered in the past, the other I've never heard of. And hey, if they end up sending something, I will cover it and we'll know whether or not it's something you should be considering. So in terms of ports, let's go over that quickly. HDMI right there, two Type-C ports, and because this has the built-in battery, you don't as I stated at the top of the video, have to have this plugged into a power source all the time. So that's a big deal. Then we have 2 buttons here, which I believe are going to be helping you jump through menus, but I'm going to have to see what I presume is power up here at the top. And then they do have what appear to be built-in speakers on this as well. Nothing on the bottom. So it's a really clean design. Let me go ahead and try to power it on. Again, I assume this is the power button because there is an LED. As you can see, it just became blue. So it is powering on. We have something going on here. And I'll put that down. And let's take a look what's in here, which, as I stated, is likely going to be the travel case. And you're going to need that because on its own, if you don't have a stand of some sort, you're not going to be able to actually use this in a practical manner. And there it is. So they do include what is conventionally referred to as a smart case because it's going to let you prop up the panel. And let's see exactly what we've got here. So this one's pretty interesting. I have not seen one quite like this yet. Essentially silicone with a folding design so that it can basically create a tent. So let's go ahead and put that in there and let's see what this actually ends up feeling and looking like inside of its case. And then I may end up trying to connect it here to my phone just to see a quick test of how it operates. So let me see. I presume we should be able to figure this out without instructions just based on ports. So over here is the opening for all of the inputs. So let's go ahead and just pocket it like that. It should be that simple. Got to probably come in. I'm feeling something that appears to be magnetic, but I'm not 100% certain of that. I don't think it's magnetic but it could be. There may be something in there. All right, so that is pocketed in. And then if I go ahead and tent this like we just were looking at a moment ago, so that is definitely one way that you can stand it up like that. And you can see it is magnetic. It has attached. Now, in terms of additional angles, that's where I'm going to have to be a little bit more creative. So I'm going to look to see how we can achieve a different position here because there's got to be a way. So I'm assuming that, well, that kind of seems to deliver the same experience. So I'm going to have to play with it a little bit more. Okay, so now let's test functionality. The first thing you need to be aware of is that even though UPerfect has included multiple Type-C cables, they have different uses. So this one in my left hand is labeled as a power delivery cable. The one in my right hand, which is a thicker cable, as you may have noticed, is labeled as a video signal cable. So this is what you're going to want to use. So let's go ahead and plug that into the OLED panel, then plug the other end into my Z Fold, and DeX will launch. I'll take a moment, and then I'll do a quick playback sample on YouTube just so you can see what the quality of this panel is like. And, being that it's a 4K OLED panel and UPerfect has quoted again that essentially color representation is accurate for both Adobe RGB and DCI-P3, you can expect really good things. So let's go ahead and launch that internet browser. And you can see we've already got the Costa Rica video ready to go. High gloss display, but that's par for the course working with OLED panels. Let's go ahead and skip that ad. Let's make this, whoop, didn't mean to do that. Let's go full screen. And let's up resolution here to 4K. Now, brightness is making this look a little bit, well, let's see. The top right button is going to give you your battery level, as well as you can see we're at 89%, and there is brightness as well as the rest of the interface. Now, if I make this a little bit, this is really low brightness presently. We're at 10, but I think you can see that things look really good. I mean, excellent. There's no question, at least from what I'm looking at right now, this is the best portable monitor I have ever demoed. And I've only spent a few minutes with it here. I'm sharing it with all of you. But color fidelity looks great. And brightness, if I take this all the way up, It's going to look blown out for all of you, but it looks like it is peaking exactly where the manufacturer states, which is about 400 nits. I mean, the panel looks excellent. So, it's going to be interesting to see what battery life is like. It's going to be interesting to play with more of the presets. This can change orientation for those of you that are wondering. That's a non-issue. Let me go ahead and turn the volume down. So really, this is looking like an incredibly dynamic solution, not just as a portable monitor, but whatever you want to make it. If you want this to be a preview monitor for video work, again, color proofing, for photo and video editing, or just as, again, the portable touchscreen display that it's marketed as, I really can't see any downside to picking one of these up, other than the fact that you're paying a premium for what is the best of the best here in portable display technology. And, you know, I've been waiting for portable OLEDs for quite some time. Anyone who knows anything about organic light emitting diodes knows that they started out small. My first OLED device was an iRiver personal media player. Unfortunately, iRiver is really not much of a thing anymore. And it was a fantastic device. Of course, phones came next, and TVs now, completely mainstream. My first OLED TV was back in 2015, which was incredibly expensive. Now, pricing, I would say, is, you know, fair for what you're getting. And now we're seeing improved technology beyond just longevity and products like this. And more of the laptops that I'm covering, of course, have OLED displays. The next step is just to start seeing higher refresh panels. But again, there are only, I think, 3 OLED portable monitors on the market from, again, 3 different manufacturers. And at least at the time of demoing this right here in this unboxing, it's going to be hard for me to tell you to look anywhere other than UPerfect. Panel quality looks great. Built-in battery seems like it's going to give us solid battery life. And what more could you want out of a portable display? But that wraps it up. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.